episode of Down the Barrel Podcast with Jimmy and Dino.
And sometimes Jared.
Down the Barrel Podcast is brought to you by the Minnesota Deer Hunters Association and Wolf.Report. Dead Nuts Outdoors, creators of the most realistic 2D archery targets on the market. Practice how you hunt. Hit it dead nuts. Visit deadnutsoutdoors.com to gear up.
Today, Down the Barrel is down at Alexandria Pro Firearms on location in the spot where they actually assemble these rifles. And what a class act these guys were. Matt.
And Jason.
Jake.
We had Jake.
Yep.
And we talked to Aaron as well.
Aaron was there.
Yep.
And we talked a lot about Mr. Hunter.
Yeah. They're,
who I did not meet.
Cerakote painter guy.
Cerakote guy.
Yeah. Sounds like he's just
like
the
magician.
best in the business.
Yeah, he's a magician.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen his work. I appreciate his work.
Yep.
Haven't met the guy.
And you're going to hear, we recorded it on site, so you're going to hear everything we talked about. And what you're not going to see is afterwards, we took a tour of the whole place.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was impressive. They have a great thing going there with the new owners. Mm-hmm. They're well organized, gearing up. You're going to be able to order those guns. They're going to keep them in stock. And they got some awesome options on the Cerakote side.
Yeah, and
which I love.
Customization too. And quick customization where they can turn everything around.
Right.
Within,
what was that one color I really liked?
You were super into the Pinkosaurus Rex.
Pinkosaurus Rex, yeah. So
Fancy.
Pinkosaurus Rex and their Robin's Egg.
Robin's Egg.
Robin's Egg,
their
yes.
summer color.
And
if
we were there, we got to go back.
Well, first of all, if you're trying to picture what Pinkosaurus Rex looks like,
Pepto-Bismol,
Pepto-Bismol, yeah.
With a sheen.
It is pink, right?
But it had they did that clear coat on it. It gives it a little sheen.
Yeah, Pepto-Bismol, you spilled it on the floor, you spilled some epoxy over the top.
Yeah, but it's still kind of cool.
It was cool.
I kind of want one.
I'm sure you do.
I do, actually.
I want to see a distressed Pinkosaurus Rex.
Oh,
I want to
how
see
cool would that be?
like one of those
Pinkosaurus
MLRs
stressed.
Boom.
in a 7mm mag or a 300 Win Mag in the Pinkosaurus Rex. Who's going to make fun of a 300 Win Mag in a Pinkosaurus Rex?
That's
Everybody.
Well, the first person and then
The last
one
person.
after.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way,
when you
not
let
saying.
when
I'm
you let
just
them
saying
shoot it, they won't make fun after that.
So what I'm saying is, after we did the podcast, we did the little tour of the shop.
Yeah.
We got to go out in their little shooting range and fire a couple of these amazing rifles. We got to fire a 300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
MLR.
That's cool.
Carbon fiber barrel.
and stock.
This thing was
just
amazing.
gorgeous.
I mean, everybody knows the 300 Win Mag. It's a mule. It kicks, right?
Yeah. This was
This gun does not do that.
No.
I mean, I was ready to shoot this thing full auto. I wanted to. I literally asked him if we could shoot a full auto, and he said nobody does that. But
you tried.
I think what he said is too expensive.
Well, it would definitely be expensive. But I mean, that thing was comfortable. I would shoot that all day long. That 300 Win Mag.
Easily.
Yep.
It's just
Right.
great gun. I need one.
I want one.
Yeah.
And we got to fire an actual full auto while we were there.
We did.
And
Yeah,
I
one of their-
still want that one, the AR-10, the 300 Win Mag.
Yeah, that was cool. But to fire that law enforcement one with full auto, that was.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
That put a smile on everybody's faces.
Oh man!
Everybody.
I mean, we've got a couple of their AR pistols, which is what this was modeled after. This one
Right.
was an SBR, law enforcement, obviously, so we can't get that. But let me tell you, if I could get that,
Right. I thought it was awesome to be able to go from safe to fire to auto.
yeah,
How cool was that?
yeah,
Just the best.
that was cool.
They call it a fun switch for a reason.
Yes,
Yeah, and
exactly.
it was. I mean, everybody.
fun.
You can't shoot that without a smile.
You can't. I mean, we all did mag dumps, 30 rounds,
Maybe a couple of
and
them.
like, I mean, it was just in no time.
Yeah.
that
And
was
I mean,
so cool.
You'd turn around from doing that, and you would almost be screaming in happiness. I think I actually did. I think we have a video of me like turning around like, woo!
yeah, no, that was pretty cool. And then we did. Was it the Fury or the Ragnar that we did fire as well? Because there's
the
one
Ragnar.
other. We did fire an AR as well, just a basic
Well, yeah, I think that was
their-
Ragnar or something like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, yeah, and we have
great
those,
gun,
so we fired
we do.
before.
Yeah.
Well, and with their upgraded triggers, they're so nice. And that MLR, that 300 Win mag that had that
Oh,
upgraded
that
trigger.
thing! I so desperately want that,
nice.
but I want it in 7mm mag personally.
Yeah.
But
I want the 300 Win mag.
I don't know, going through the plant and through the Cerakote area and seeing some of the paint jobs and
Right.
stuff that they had,
Yeah.
that was really cool. And that, was it gray? They had an orange inset and then gray and a green.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like a gray camo.
And if you come out to any of
Yeah.
their shows that they're going to be at, they're going to have all these options previewed in a special rack
Yeah.
for you to see.
Yeah, it was fun. It was,
Well, yeah,
that
it's
was
right here in
awesome.
Minnesota. APF. If you want one of the top of the line, I'd say top of the line AR.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
You
I would
need to
100%
go there
say that.
first. APF. Look them up. You're going to get, everybody in that building was passionate about making those rifles.
Well, that was the cool thing too, is they all make them.
Right.
And they shoot them. I mean, it starts from, design work all the way up to assembly and, test firing them just to make sure they're good to go
Right.
and boxing them up, test firing out on their, facility and everything. I mean, passion
Right.
was throughout.
I
the
mean,
building.
I'm no expert, but just from visiting these guys, I don't know if I'd want to own another AR.
If
I
you
would
have
agree.
never held an APF in your hands,
Yeah.
you need to, because you will.
You do.
You'll
You need to
touch
fire
that gun
one.
and you'll say, "This."
I mean,
what
you
quality
take a
looks like.
300
Quality,
Win
yes.
mag and fire that thing, and it's like shooting maybe a 308.
If that,
And, I mean, I wanted to just do a full mag dump on that,
right?
thing.
yeah.
It did. I mean, it was so comfortable to shoot.
And
I desperately want
and
one.
light too. You know,
Yeah.
for what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Now-
Well, that one that we were firing had the carbon fiber barrel.
And
Right.
I think it was
yeah.
8 pounds.
Yeah.
8 pounds. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what
that's
did it
it
have?
was.
Like a 5-round mag in it?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so.
And I just kept pulling that trigger until it stopped.
Right.
And
No, that was awesome. I'm really considering. Obviously, we have a few that I want to purchase. I'm considering doing kind of a custom one too, just a
I
basic
just
AR.
want
or
one of those
even
MLRs.
upgrading to-
I want one of those MLRs. I know
Yeah.
they're kind of expendy, but I just want.
They are, but I really want to customize one, and maybe even a 308 or a 243, something a little
Well,
bit
those
different.
are nice, but I have never ever wanted a 300 Win mag. I would own one of those 300 Win mags.
Yeah,
I've always been,
yeah. You've been liking the 300 Win.
like I've never owned one, but I've always kind of wanted one.
Yeah.
And then after shooting that one today, I now know
That's the only 300 Win mag
the
you
one I
want.
want.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't want a different
Yeah.
one.
Like we have a really nice Tika in stock right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, we
you
do.
know,
Yep.
and like I've had my eye on it, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, do I really need this? And after shooting that one today, it's like, yeah, I need that APF.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I know.
Well, and after looking at all the guns and the options they have, and talking to them, MSRs are becoming quite more popular nowadays.
Oh, 100%.
And they should be, because again, just like the guys had said, the accuracy of everything is becoming more and more prevalent to where, why wouldn't you? And the customization. I mean, yep, you may spend a little bit more for an MSR, but man, the way you can customize it and everything, I don't think I'd spend $3,200 on a bolt gun, but I'd
No,
spend $3,200 on an MSR.
Well, yeah, because it's going to work for anyone you want to shoot that gun.
right.
Yes.
It's going to work for them.
Yep.
And you can personalize it to how you want it.
Yeah, you can get your
Looks,
Pink-
functionality,
Pinkalicious.
everything. And APF
Yes.
sells all these things.
Right.
All the parts.
Yep. All the parts to accessorize it. Yep.
Triggers.
That's a cool thing.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it all today on their shelves.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
got it ready to go for you to order.
Their APF triggers were actually super impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're making them themselves.
I'm thinking about ordering an APF trigger for our APF pistol.
yeah.
because we
could
just
definitely
got-
upgrade that for
Yeah,
sure.
because we just got the mil spec, which is fine. But man, those triggers today were awesome.
Right. And I want to say, if you listen to the podcast that we recorded today, you might hear a secret release on there for one of their firearms.
You mean the muzzle device? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't describe it in detail.
No, and we won't go into it because
it's testing.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I spied
you might hear us talking about it.
spied that thing right away.
You did. I was surprised how quick you caught that.
I want one of those.
I mean, I carried that rifle over and I handed it over and you're like, oh, what's that? I didn't even notice it. I was impressed that you got it right away.
Yeah. You know, when you
Dean's good for some things.
yeah,
Every now and again.
I got that eye. I built a few. I'm obviously no expert on any of it, but even just being back in the assembly line and just seeing the stuff they had to make it easier for
Right.
their assemblers, like, man, I would have like springs floating across this floor, everything.
Right.
But they figured out a way to modernize it and
That's
make
what's
it easy.
So cool about
That's
them.
what's awesome.
You know, like they're machining their own parts,
Right.
But having that access to that equipment, they're machining their own tools to
Right.
make those parts.
Correct.
You know,
Yep.
like doing
to
all
put
of
it all
that
together.
in-house
Yeah.
in the great state of Minnesota. Like
Right.
all of that is
Yeah.
happening right here
Because they're
It's-
making
it's so
parts
cool.
down in what I forget what town, but it was down by
Big Lake, I think.
right Big Lake and
Lino Lakes, somewhere there.
down there
Yeah.
around the cities. They're making them parts. They're bringing them up here. They're marketing them. They're Cerakoting them. They're assembling them here in Alexandria,
You know,
and they're shipping them to where you
everywhere.
want them.
All
Everywhere.
50 states.
All 50 states.
Well,
Yeah, and
they
they have
can
a,
no longer ship to some, apparently.
right, but they're selling to like 3/4 of the law enforcement agencies in this state.
It was amazing how many.
right. So if
And
the
then-
law enforcement trust these firearms, you should too.
And then as we were there, they had multiple calls from other law enforcement agencies,
South Dakota?
in other states. So that was pretty cool.
It was. Yeah.
You know,
just
so they're sought after firearms. I'm excited to work with these guys. We've always loved them, and then to have them on again and go on site, that was
Yeah, with the new
That was pretty
owners,
Yep.
Matt. You'll meet Matt in the podcast. We talk to Matt a lot.
yeah. So
Great guy.
very excited as to see what APF does next, and excited for all their new products.
Right.
I mean,
So-
it's pretty cool to be recording a podcast and somebody saying, sorry, I got to step out. This is the South Dakota SWAT team trying to place an order.
Right, right.
And you're like, yeah, go ahead and take
Do
that,
that,
call.
please, by all means. Yeah, you guys got some good stuff. But yeah, so listen to this podcast. We just recorded it. We're actually at the hotel in Alexandria right now, shortly after we recorded this podcast and shot their firearms.
Yeah.
So take a listen, and then go to their website
APFarmory.com.
and check them out. You want these guns.
They're the best.
Get yourself a 300 Win Mag. I want one.
Get yourself a Fury or a Ragnar. Or,
you know what? While
you
you're at
can't
it,
go wrong.
buy one for me.
Right.
Right.
You know?
Here's the thing. If you buy one for me and you get one for really good price.
You know, or we could do this. You buy one for you, you pay for ours, we'll send you a DTB hat.
There you go. There you go.
And a decal. So anyway, listen to this podcast. It's going to be a good one. You're going to learn a lot about APF.
Check
But
it
we
out.
got to go because Gladiator's on the TV in the
Right.
hotel, and we're getting to the good parts.
Don't
Right.
forget, APFarmory.com.
So have a listen. Check these guys out.
Yep.
They're awesome.
All right. So today we're talking with Alex Pro Firearms, and we're actually on location today in Alexandria. So who do we got with us today?
Jason and Matt.
All right. And Matt, you are
I'm one of the new owners. Yep.
okay. And Jason,
Sales manager.
gotcha. Perfect. So new ownership.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Matt, when did you take over ownership of APF?
We took over about the first of the year. So we've actually been working with these guys since the 2020 era. We've been making a bunch of parts for them. We actually make parts in a manufacturing facility down in the North Metro area. So we started making bulk carrier groups and some other fancy parts for these guys. And eventually the opportunity came up where we could buy these guys out. And it was a great culture fit. And
Yeah.
it's been good ever since. So
Yeah. It's awesome.
So Matt, where do you live up here then, or do you live down in the city?
Actually, I'm in the process of moving up here. So our house closes in 2 days. So we sold and we're looking. So anybody in the Alexandria area has got a house for sale, we're buying. So
Well, that's pretty cool. And Jason, you've been with the company for
since the beginning, 2014.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I've been here going on 11 years.
Oh, cool. So obviously, good changeover. I've seen you guys' products. All of us have APF products.
Yep.
I wish we could, shoot them just a little bit more than what we do, but we've had some pretty good success.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love mine. I've got the slim carbine, and it's just a solid gun, It's beautiful Cerakote finish on it.
I tried to get him to buy the Tactical Mermaid, but he ended up going with the green.
I'm still eyeing it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I never have taste for that
The
one.
Tactical Mermaid. I did like that one. I almost got it,
I know.
but I went with the 22-250 first.
I still have the Tactical Mermaid at the office, and it's getting pretty close to calling my name. Of course, I still have one of the original Alphas, I've been really looking at, trying to discount it just enough to where it works, so working on that. But no, you guys have a great product, and I've been looking a lot online, and, your new lines are really exciting. So if you guys want to tell us a little about kind of your new lines or what's changed, with APF.
Yeah. So this year we really focused on kind of streamlining some stuff, cutting out some redundancy, and then in turn kind of came out with 2 new models, the Ragnar and the Fury, which are kind of our standard 5.56, and then our slightly upgraded 5.56 that we also offer in a handful of other calibers as well. 350 Legend, 450 Bushmaster, a little bit of 400 Legend stuff as well.
Yeah. And are those behind us here? Or behind you, I guess?
Yeah, the Fury is the Copper FX1, and there is not a Ragnar out here currently.
Okay.
We're moving a little bit more in the direction of suppressor stuff. Seems like everybody in the industry is kind of going towards the suppressors. Lead times are down on people getting stamps, so everything we have now is an adjustable gas block, so they're suppressor ready. So we're kind of moving in the upper direction, trying to make our stuff stand out a little bit from some of the other companies. So,
Yep. And that's been one big benefit of these guys taking over, right? Is now we have the ability to make all this stuff in house. And so adjustable gas blocks, okay, cool, we'll make those. So it's just easy that we put them on everything, which is a big selling feature because, like Matt said, everything is really tending towards suppressors being put on stuff. I mean, some guys are seeing suppressor approvals in less than a day.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. It used to be 9-10 months. So it's a natural fit for us to just outfit them out of the box, ready for the suppressors.
So are we talking integrated suppressors? No?
not currently, no.
Not currently. And that'd be cool, right?
All right.
Maybe someday. But right now, just everything's ready to accept a suppressor.
Yeah, because before with the adjustable gas block, not too many manufacturers are doing that, or at least for that purpose, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were some, but they weren't on, across the board. They were some of the more specialized stuff. Where with us, it's across the board. It's everything from our Ragnar at 1099 to our MLR at 5200, right? It's everywhere in between. Every model comes out of here with one of those on it.
A lot of what APF does is a lot of different calibers. So we've offered 30 different calibers over the years. With those different calibers, they create different pressures in the gas system, and to be able to adjust that is, definitely important. And then when you put a suppressor on, it changes the gas system again.
Yeah.
So if you need to, you can dial that gas block in and make them cycle really nice. I mean, we're trying to get stuff that works all the time really good, so it's helpful.
Yeah, and it's another selling feature too, right, for the gun shops to be able to say, well, this one has an adjustable gas block, this one doesn't.
Right.
And so it just helps saleability, at the consumer level as well. So
Yeah. Well, and then with the triggers, you guys have upgraded the triggers in most of your models or all the models?
Pretty much everything everything does have a trigger that would be what you would consider an upgrade from a mil spec. So the Ragnar has a nickel boron coated flat blade trigger, which is a single piece, and then we also have our own drop in and a 3.5 and a 4.5 pound that comes in everything else. And it just depends on which model you're looking at is going to depend which weight of trigger you get. But nothing outside of some of our LE lines comes with just your standard old mil spec trigger.
And I respect that because I've got a few ARs and I've swapped a trigger on a few of them. And let me tell you, there's a bit of a difference in that. So to be able to you guys are already, most people, they buy an AR, a few years down the road, they're going to upgrade the triggers. Obviously, they're not going to upgrade the gas blocks. So that's a benefit right away.
Yeah.
But that trigger is something almost everybody does, within a year or two. And you guys have already taken that away, so it's great to have that ability.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of said that, like, if you're going to buy a rifle, the first thing you should upgrade that's going to make the biggest performance difference is that trigger. Well, our rifles just come with it out of the box, and so there's no need to spend the extra money to upgrade it. It's already there for you.
Yeah.
At this point, we're testing every trigger that comes out of the building, so we actually do a weight test on every trigger and make sure that's in. The standard nickel boron flat blade triggers are actually testing at around 4.5 to 5 pounds at this time, and so everything that we have is smooth. It's going in that direction for sure.
Yeah, that's
great. Because that's the same trigger system that's in the 22-250 I got, isn't it?
Yes. Yep, it would be.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. I applaud you guys for doing that and upgrading those right away. So I think you guys have a great product. Like I said, we all have it. We love it. I'm going to have to make a phone call and see if I can get one of those sweet triggers for the couple I have. But
I might be able to figure something out.
I might know a few guys I can hook us up.
I think they might be right through that door. Right. How fast can you run?
Not that fast.
I'll look the other direction for a little bit.
Shelly's back there. Do not go Shelly's there. She'll chase you down.
Nothing comes out of there without Shelly. No, that's for sure.
No, that's pretty cool because I was looking on the website and one thing that makes you guys different is entry level guns that aren't so entry level. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're really not going for the bottom of the barrel. We're looking for something we've got lifetime warranty. We're looking for something that's going to last a guy forever. We want to be one of those names in 50 years where people look back and they say that stuff works awesome. So.
Yeah. I mean, like we just kind of touched on, right? I mean, we're, in the Ragnar, we've got adjustable gas blocks. We've got diamond honing in the BCGs, which is a way that of manufacturing that we offer. We have the upgraded trigger. So everything is coming with upgrades already, so while it may be our entry level rifle, it's really not an entry level rifle. That's just where our product line starts.
Yep. So what is done all in-house?
In this building?
Or even in, the one in the cities.
Yeah. So we do, we've actually got we do a full bolt carrier. So we have a lathe department and we actually have a robot fed machining system that makes these things. And then we actually have a diamond honing process where we hone the bores to very specific tolerances because after years of use on the way the bolt rides in the bolt carriers, they're smooth and they don't wear out. So that's a way that we've kind of moved up a level, but we're doing lowers there. We're doing all sorts of stuff.
Uppers, handguards. I mean, bolts on the Swiss, firing pins on the Swiss, machines.
Wow.
There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I would say at this point, we're probably making 75% of the rifle, minus some springs and detents. And
what really happens up in this building is sales, marketing, assembly, test fire, engineering. So a lot of that stuff happens in this building. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And where do you do like the Cerakote and the engraving at?
The Cerakote engraving also happens in Alexandria here. Yep. Okay. Wow. We've got Hunter, our painter. He's an excellent artist, as you can see on some of the.
He's right behind the wall here. On the other side of this wall is the whole Cerakote department. So he's got ovens. He's got paint booth. We're actually getting ready to hook up another paint booth. I hate to give him too much props because it's Hunter and we love him, but
we won't tell him.
Extremely talented. We get comments all the time. I was out at a trade show for law enforcement here last week, and everybody's like, "Man, is that Cerakote? How were you able to get that out of Cerakote?" And it's like, well, we just got a guy that's really, really good, and he's worked here straight out of high school. 2019, 2020, he came on board, and we sent him out to Cerakote school. And he's just really good. Yeah. Actually, one of our sales guys here too is certified Cerakote as well. So if we get backed up, he can jump up there and then help out a little bit also. So no, we're very fortunate in that regard with those guys.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful product for sure. Like that multicam 22-250 you have, just gorgeous.
It is.
Well, and just the fit and finish. You look at, obviously, we carry, a multitude of AR platforms, and you can definitely tell the ones that cared a little bit more about their product and customer, and aren't just pushing out, firearms. So that is one thing. And especially with your new models, I mean, they are, as I'm looking at them, it's like, wow, I need to start saving my pennies and see what I can do. So.
Well, I was told they had 3 custom rifles for us today. So
Did you hear that?
I mean, as long as they got a checkbook, we can figure it out.
We got a company card.
You got a company card, right?
We got 2 of them.
that's right. Yeah, just don't tell Renee.
Yeah, exactly. So pricing gone up a little bit just because you have to offer those, things. So medium to, or what's your low kind of pricing, and then your top?
I wouldn't look at it as much as the pricing went up, as much as we're not offering the lower models anymore. We just feel like that direction of the company is not really where we want to go. So we brought some new models out with some nicer features, and nicer stocks and grips, and
more
triggers,
quality than
higher end triggers, and the BCGs that are upgraded in them. So that's kind of more the direction we felt the company was going to go. So.
Yeah,
so the Ragnar, which is again our entry level rifle, is going to be right about that $10.99 retail price, and you're going to find it on shelves probably a little less. And then we go all the way up to our big carbon fiber 300 Win Mag MLR, which retails at $5,200. So we have a very wide range of pricing, but we offer a very wide range of stuff. 16 different calibers on about 4 or 5 different core models. So it's
that's what I was going to ask. How many calibers are you guys doing now? 16.
16 is the official count. Yes, sir.
Wow.
We do a lot of stuff for the hunting world. It seems like things have definitely progressed over the last few years. It's moving a little bit more away from the bolt guns and more into the AR style platform. The accuracy and quality of the AR stuff is getting so much better that it's become more of a natural fit. We have a lot more calibers and stuff that we offer, so people are doing really specific things. A lot of the coyote guys right now are shooting 22-250s. It shoots really flat through the thermal. You don't have to worry about distance as much. There's a lot of other things too. So.
Yeah, I mean, we get into the 243s and the 6 mils and some of the arc calibers. They're definitely specialized, towards the hunting community, but that's something we're really going after. And it has huge benefits from a hunting standpoint, whether it's accuracy or follow up shots or just the ability for multiple rounds. If you get a whole group of coyotes that's coming in, it's definitely a key benefit to the AR platform.
Yeah. Well, and starting with talking about coyote hunting and hunting, you guys have Predator Pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's running APFs now. So can you tell us how that kind of came about?
Yeah, I want to say it was 3 years ago now at SHOT Show. Jeff had stopped by and chatted with us, basically kind of tracked us down through some mutual contacts at Hornady, said, hey, I hear there's a company making this 22-50 AR. I want to meet these guys. I want one. So after hanging out in the booth for an hour or so, 2 hours or so, and getting to know him, we ended up getting him a rifle, getting him a 22-50, and actually a 6.5 Creedmoor, so he could shoot pigs and a little bit bigger critters down in Texas. Really liked him. We got a lot of good content out of it, a lot of good feedback from him as well. And then right as Matt and Dave were coming in and taking over, they kind of approached me and were like, hey, we'd like to be sponsored by you guys. And so kind of worked through that right in the hustle and bustle of a new ownership change, and ended up signing on with those guys here at the beginning of 2025. And so he's been repping our stuff pretty well and pretty hard since the beginning of the year, which has been key because like I said, we're trying to push the fact that we're more than just a 5.56 223 black gun type company, right? We do everything and really want to focus on the hunting world because everybody here is a pretty dedicated hunter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw on the website that you guys have the 7mm Remington mag too. I love those heavy rounds like that. Do you guys sell a lot of those?
Yeah, I mean, a fair amount, right? I mean, it's a pricier firearm. We're up in that $4,500 to $5,200 range, so it definitely takes the right guy to buy them. But the guys that buy them are pretty serious and they've done their homework, and then there's a reason they're coming to get ours. Our 24-inch, so the long, heavy-barreled version of that is only 8.5 pounds.
Okay.
couple years ago, we were doing a training and actually able to print an MOA group at a mile a handful of times with our MLR right out of the box.
Wow.
Factory ammo, and that wasn't just, you know, a trained shooter. It was just some sales guys and some reps that we had at the time. It's like 19-inch group at a mile. That's pretty impressive. We were
very impressive.
Stoked. That was fun to do.
That's cool.
Yeah, that does sound fun. So on that 7mm, what is the mag capacity on that one?
5 rounds.
5.
Yep.
Okay.
What's your 22-250? Was that 5?
I think that's 5.2,
Okay.
isn't it? Or
Those are
8?
8. Those are 8.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, it's got that custom mag. Yeah.
That thing is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool gun.
Right.
I'm impressed.
I'm so mad I didn't buy it.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about ordering one myself.
So we've got barrels. We can fix that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to end up with a tactical mermaid here shortly.
I would say that 2250, as far as the varmint guns go, is probably our most sought after. It's one that we have a little bit of a hard time keeping on the shelf when we hit that time of year. Right now, you know, we're turning around pretty quick, and so we're building some stuff for inventory to have here for when the phone starts ringing in the fall for guys looking, because it's not going to take real long, and we'll be out and we'll be building the order at that time. So those are real popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have.
Very good problem to have.
So turnaround. So what's that typically, or at least on a custom gun compared to some other, you know, just basic turnaround time?
We're shooting for that 4 to 6 week lead time on pretty much everything. Now there's always exceptions, right? If we're in between barrel shipments or we're waiting on this to come in. But as of right now, we're fulfilling everything actually probably quicker than that 4 to 6 weeks. We've been building a lot towards inventory as well. So I don't know what we come up with this morning in our production meeting. We had a couple hundred guns in live inventory sitting there ready to go.
Nice.
So which is different than what we've done in the past. You know, so we're really focusing on getting the consumer their firearm, because I mean, we've all ordered stuff in the past. We know it's frustrating to have to wait. You want your new stuff. So
Exactly.
really trying to focus on that, and that's with these guys coming on board. It's been a big shift in that focus. So it's been good. Good.
Very cool.
Sell a high variety of stuff, so it's a complicated process.
Yes.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Right.
16 different calibers. Like, what do you work on today?
Well,
you
and all
know,
the colors too, right?
True.
Cerakote in house. So we offer the 10 standard colors. Well, crystal ball, which color are you going to put on the shelf? So we're doing some different stuff, right? We're painting the receiver sets. So, you know, that AR-10 receiver set with a 15-inch handguard, that can turn into about 6 or 7 different rifles just in that same color. So we can pull the rest of the parts, put it together. Cerakote is, you know, takes a day or two to get through the process, because it's got to bake, it's got to cool, it's got to do all that stuff. So having those ready to go cuts down on lead time significantly. So that's one thing we've been really focusing on as well, is painting ahead, getting stuff ready to go on the shelf, just in those receiver sets even.
Yeah. So do you guys, I mean, obviously Minnesota company, but you expand everywhere, because I know you guys were in Texas and then, you know, SHOT Show everywhere. So
yeah, I think we have officially sent rifles to all 50 states, you know, including Hawaii and Alaska. Now there's some states we can't ship to anymore, and that's just because of the political reasons. But, you know, states like California, you know, we ship to all the time, even though there is some hoops to jump through. They're pretty easy. And so we do make sure to focus out there as well. So yeah, we've officially shipped to all 50 states. And at this point, we're traveling around the country doing different trade shows, different demos, different events. And so, yeah, we're based in Minnesota, but we spread everywhere.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, something a lot of people probably don't know is we have a really heavy law enforcement side of things. So we sell to 355 of the 600 and some Minnesota law enforcement agencies. Really? So, and we have expanded out into other states at this point. So
yeah, well, we just sold a bunch of machine guns to a department in Montana. We've Nebraska, Iowa, North South Dakota. As I came in here, I was talking to some guys from South Dakota on the phone. I just got back from Ohio from a trade show last week, so I was out in Ohio. Aaron and I were in Texas earlier this year for another law enforcement convention. We've got some other demos scheduled here coming up, and so yeah, I mean we're running all over the place doing the different LE demos. And honestly, if a department calls from Arizona tomorrow and says, "Hey, you know, we need a whole bunch of rifles, can you come down and do a demo?" somebody's getting on a plane and we're going to Arizona. We'll figure it out.
I'm getting on a plane going to Arizona.
Maybe you could be an ambassador.
Right, there we go.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, not a bad gig.
Right?
No, it has its perks. It's pretty fun.
I can imagine. So you said when you shipped a bunch of, you called them machine guns. Mm-hmm. So these things are fully automatic that you're shipping
for law enforcement.
For law enforcement,
for law enforcement, we can do that. On the commercial side, no, we cannot.
Yes.
We cannot do that.
Right.
Yeah, there's that's a no.
What if I impersonate a law enforcement?
No, that's frowned upon, Jared.
You're gonna get shot.
Yeah, we're not going to try that one.
I have a junior park ranger badge that I got from Smokey the Bear.
Right. So what's your top seller? I know it's probably hard to choose, but
it's a little hard. 5.56 is probably the best selling caliber, across the board. But a lot of that has to do with the law enforcement presence, because that's pretty much what those guys are buying. Popularity wise, 2250 is a really close second. And then I would say kind of that mix of other varmint calibers, whether it's 243, 6mm Creedmoor, 6mm ARC. That niche is probably our second best selling kind of gear. Rifle.
Yeah, we have a few different tiers too. So we have our forged upper lower tier, and then we have our billet series. That's kind of the next step up. We call it our 2.0 series. And then we have an elite series, which is our high end, lightweight match billet receiver set. So we sell a lot of different stuff. So depending on the season, it can change.
Yeah, it's almost more by caliber than it is by model of rifle, because you could buy a 22 ARC, for instance, in 3 or 4 different variations. So it's everybody has their own opinions on what they want, and it fits different needs. So it's one model may not sell as well as another, but the caliber itself is the strongest as far as sales goes.
How about the Cerakote? Is there a more popular finish?
We see a lot of the burnt bronzes, the FDEs, the OD greens, kind of those standard colors are probably the best sellers. But like that tactical mermaid you guys were talking about, we kind of laughed when we found that one on Cerakote, and we're like, oh, let's just give this a try and see what those. And we have sold a ton of those things. Yeah, it sells very, very well. Copper FX, which is that's cool. Orange one behind me here, that's been a great seller. We sold a pile of those. That's a relatively new color that they just started doing, but that's been real hot this year. So it's kind of tough to say a little bit, but it's just because of so many different offerings. But the standard colors, the OD greens, the grays, that kind of stuff sells pretty well.
Bull shark grays,
bull shark grays are
that one's cool.
We've got the bull shark gray and 6.5 Creedmoor. I was looking at that one too. It's a nice looking gun.
That really is. Right. I've been looking at getting into the Creedmoor, so that might be what I get into. I've told you this. I've looked at.
I know, but I want it on the record. They give me a lot of shit for owning one of my many guns is a 6.5 Creedmoor.
It's a good caliber.
It's a great caliber.
Does everything.
Yep.
Great caliber. And now
you're telling yourself that, guy.
If you want to talk about politically charged, we can keep talking about calibers. I can go any of which direction here.
We can get a big argument about which caliber is the best.
I bet.
Yeah. You should see this office from time to time.
I can only imagine.
Well, let's do it. Why not? What do we got to lose?
As long as they agree with that the 6.5 is
the best. It's not the best. It's a great caliber.
I choose a 300 Win Mag for
Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Man's caliber.
Kill everything you need to kill. It's not going to do the job. Might be a little overkill for most things in Minnesota, but
hey, that's what I want though. That what would you call it? The MLS?
MLR. Yeah.
MLR.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
We actually. Basically, the first year we did that rifle, we actually had one of our dealers filled his once-in-a-lifetime Minnesota moose tag with that.
Oh, really?
They sent him a 7 mag to use. Yeah,
that's
nice. That's first moose.
Yeah,
that was like 2017 maybe. So it's been a while, but yeah, he was able to do that. So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. How does the 308? How does that sell for MSRs? Because you don't see a whole lot of them around as much.
It goes in spurts. The 308 stuff seems to sell more on like the Fury models, not the real high-end precision type stuff. They just kind of the standard rifles. Most guys that are buying the precision stuff are going towards the 6.5s or the 6 mils, that kind of stuff. But like during the pandemic, we sold 308s on the AR-10 probably 20 to 1.
Yeah.
Because ammo was available.
Right.
For some reason, you could get that ammo. So a little bit has to do with that. I love 308. And 308 is a great cartridge. It does everything you need it to do. And so that's, I mean, for big game, that's where I would steer if you do a 308.
Yeah, because I've got a couple M1As. I've got a SOCOM and then a regular M1A, and I've been looking at upgrading to an AR-10, but it's like, is it really worth it, or do I just bump up to a 20 to 250 or a Creedmoor, or anything like that? So, but I've got a lot of 308 ammo, so I was like, well, why buy a whole new caliber when I've already got it? So.
Yeah, I mean, always the question is always, what are you going to use it for?
Right.
What's the intended target? Because again, with the 16 different calibers, we can fit a with specific niche every time you want to buy something.
Yeah, that's what's scary. That's what's scary.
Just one of each is fine.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
So I know you guys do some stuff with carbon fiber too.
Yeah.
Do you guys do that too in-house?
We work with a company called Proof Research. I'm sure you guys have heard of them.
Yep.
And they do a lot of our high-end barrel stuff. So all of our big caliber stuff, our 300 Win Mag.
I was looking at this guy.
We offer the 22-250 in that.
And series rifles are carbon fiber. So
yeah, I mean, most of the accuracy on every gun really is the barrel. Some people might not understand this, but the bullet is captured in the barrel. So the barrel, everything happens in the barrel. So we pay super close attention to the barrels, and we're very picky about who makes barrels.
Yeah, the barrel manufacturers we use are very, very good. I mean, Proof is one of the, if not the best barrel manufacturer out there, with their cut rifling process that they use and the way they carbon wrap the barrels. Excuse me. They really have it down. I mean, they're kind of the standard for accuracy in the industry right now. And then we also use ER Shaw on our stainless steel button rifled stuff. And they shoot, very, very well, also very easily sub MOA.
Yeah.
So that rifle behind you there, what is the weight on that one?
So just the bare rifle itself is about 8.5 pounds.
Okay.
And that's the 24-inch 300 Win Mag.
Yeah, that's only an 8-pound rifle. That's amazing.
It's easy to carry up and down the big hills in Montana.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Right.
And recoil-wise, it actually recoils less than like our standard 308 just because of the brake and the carriers and the way we have it designed inside. It's actually very pleasant to shoot. We were just up at Reed's in Little Falls for their Rice Creek shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know how many thousands of rounds of the Win Mag you guys went through on the range. But
when you ask everybody what they want to shoot, there's the big one.
Yeah.
Let's do the big one.
And a lot of people are timid about it because they're like, well, I've shot bolt action 300 Win Mag and it rips your shoulder off. It's like, no, this doesn't. Like, we've had kids shoot this gun. It doesn't recoil hardly at all. Now it's loud and we've got a very effective muzzle brake on it. Yeah. But it's very pleasant to shoot.
It's not going to bruise your shoulder for sure.
You can shoot it an awful lot in a day before your shoulder starts to hurt.
And it just looks so good.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't hear that a lot about a 300 Win Mag that's pleasant to shoot.
Right.
No, we didn't make it to Rice Creek this year. A few years ago we did. And we were going to stand in the line to shoot the fully automatic, but we had our kids with us and they didn't want to stand in line long enough. Otherwise we would have shot with you guys, but we just didn't make it this year. So
it was a great event. I mean, it gave customers the opportunity to go try different things. And
Yeah.
We love shooting with people. You get smiles on everybody's faces when they leave the booth. It's a fantastic time.
Yeah. That was Matt's first experience with Rice Creek. We all kind of told him, having worked it for years and years in a row, like, I hope you're ready to be busy. And he's like, oh, I'm going to bounce around. I'm going to do this and that. And I think you came inside a couple times to check on us in the booth. And
I just love being with the people, watch them smile.
Otherwise, he was just loading mags and helping people unload mags. It was just a constant stream of people.
Right.
Yeah,
it sounds like a rough day at work.
Yeah,
no, it bears on you, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. Those guys put on an awesome event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Matt, you bought the company. Any big plans coming up? Anything new you want to mention?
Yeah, I mean, we're just expanding. We're expanding into more markets. The law enforcement thing, we're definitely expanding in right now. We're trying to go to a lot more shows and get things moving. production wise, now we have a 40,000 square foot manufacturing backing, and we're developing new parts right now. The engineering's working on some stuff, and it's kind of an exciting time. It's exciting to be part of this. So
Yeah.
Even little oddball things, right, from my side of the world is where like we do all these trade shows. Well, I have to have a way to display stuff at trade shows, and we want to show off like the Cerakote that we do. So Matt had the guys down there make this rack that's kind of over in the corner. I don't think you can see it on the camera right now. But we have the ability now to make all that stuff. So they're actively working on new trade show displays for me. And we can just make it all rather than having to order something and piece it together. They're coming from scratch. So it's just little things like that, right? It helps.
We like to make things here. Everything that we make is made in this country. So we really like that. We like to do stuff ourselves. We like to, so it's good.
Yeah. As you should.
Yeah. And earlier you were talking about suppressors. Are you manufacturing your own?
We have dabbled down that before, but it really seems like some of those suppressor companies have really taken off, and there's some really cool technologies. So at this point, we won't say much, but
we're focusing
at this point
on
it's
rifles.
tabled.
Focusing on rifles. Well, and you do a damn good job at it.
Yeah.
Like you were talking earlier about these upgrades that you've done to your quote unquote entry level models. And, like when I think of quality firearms, I'm a Henry guy, right? My firstborn son, his name is Henry, right? Like I'm going to buy a bolt action, a lever action gun, like just an old style rifle. I'm going with Henry. If I'm going to buy an MSR, an AR, a lot of people will throw out like Daniel's Defense is like top of the line. For me, it's APF, 100%.
Appreciate that.
I think the quality of your firearms is it's amazing. I love it.
For sure. So I know you mentioned some weird things that you were working on. Any AR-12s coming?
Not that I'm aware of. They don't always share everything with the sales guys, just because if it's there, we'll sell it.
They're
like our job to sell it. So not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think right now the big focus is going to be just getting everything up and running. At the parent company where all that needs to be streamlined and ready to rock before we bite off anything new, I guess would be kind of my thought on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless there's something you're hiding from me.
Right?
Maybe.
There's got to be something.
They will sell it. That's
Right. But no, I agree with you, Jared. I love the two APFs I have. And like I said, I'm going to add more to my arsenal very soon.
Not a tactical mermaid.
Probably not the tactical mermaid, but unless I special order one. So I think you guys do a great job. And, being from Minnesota is obviously a plus. And you guys just have a great product, and we enjoy it. So,
we're avid hunters as well. So both of us. So
yeah.
What do you guys? What's caliber? I'm guessing 300 over here.
Well, first of all, what species are we? Deer hunters or birds?
Buck right there. That's one of mine. I was actually a bow kill.
It just depends on what's in season at that given point in time, right?
Yeah. So when is APF making bows?
Yeah.
Don't let Zach hear these. Get all sorts of excited. I hunt whitetail and coyotes pretty heavily. Get into the other stuff, but I can't use an AR for that. So.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you make an AR-12.
Yeah.
There you go.
The 3-round mag in that would be that much fun.
right.
True story.
Oh, man.
Yeah. No, my son killed his first deer this year with an APF 350 Legend.
Nice.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that was
That's
pretty
right.
cool. Yep. I put that together for him, and because he shot my 270, obviously is a little much for him, and we had a 243 Winchester XPR bolt, and it's like, for whatever reason, that 350 Legend just intrigued me from day one. So it's like, that'd be a great kid gun. And I want a gun because the XPR is an adult gun, but it's like he's just right at that in between. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, an MSR, is the way to go because he can grow with it. We can adapt it. So I wanted that. And it's like, I want a 350 Legend. And it's like, Great Lakes Mike 1, but no, I don't want to go that. Let's go APF. So obviously built that for him and shot great. He loved it, smacked it down at 100 yards. That was pretty amazing.
Awesome.
And just dropped right there, dropped in his tracks. So he was excited, and he shoots that really well.
Really amazing considering his dad's never done that.
I got a deer this year as my M1.
Yeah, and you tracked it for 4 miles.
No, it went 60 yards. We weren't sure I hit it, and then it was dead in the woods. And that was 200 plus.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like 260.
He was there.
Yeah.
He can prove it.
Yeah, I don't believe a thing he says. It's the worst alibi in the history of alibis.
You know what's funny? We've never seen him with a deer.
Yes, you have. You weren't there for it. You saw pictures. It was already.
AI's getting really good these days.
Exactly. They are getting really good.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Deep fake.
Oh man.
We saw a lot of those 350 and 450 Bushmasters of the Michigan area.
Yeah, Michigan,
Yeah.
Ohio, Iowa,
Walls.
states where it's
straight
it's a
walls.
substitute for the shotguns.
Yeah.
Those have done very, very well for us, and are very good at taking whitetail. They're very good cartridges. So those have been a good seller over the years.
So you guys going to do a shotgun zone elimination sale coming up here pretty quick?
Oh man,
We're
It's
excited
exciting.
about
news,
that, right?
isn't it? Yeah.
We've been working hard on that for years.
Yeah.
So glad it finally passed.
Yes, very glad that it finally passed. I mean, it's not going to change what I'm doing a lot because I was shooting an AR pistol. Just going to probably make that an SBR and use that continuous.
go.
But it just makes sense.
Oh,
For
it's-
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
long overdue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a great time to have a sale is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yep.
you have the
Are
sale.
you talking like a today only for 3 people? Or what?
Yeah, today only 3 people. You know what? Just close your eyes.
First 3 guys in the store.
Close your eyes while we leave, and we'll just end it there. No questions asked.
I got to talk to my salesman.
One question I was going to ask is 9mm. You guys, do you have a 9mm caliber at all? Or
Currently, no.
Okay.
We have dabbled with that in the past. They can be finicky.
Yep.
So I would say if you see, I guess, back to our anything new coming conversation, I could see that coming out again in the future.
Yeah, our
after
engineering
some-
team's working on some stuff to
PCCs.
try to really create something that's very dependable.
Yeah.
That's what we want our stuff to be, is dependable.
Yeah.
So until we get it there, we're gonna.
Yeah. So we kind of stopped selling that a couple years ago.
I was thinking you guys had one at one time. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a 9mm. It's not APF. I wish it was, but it's very finicky. And so I was hoping, when you guys come out with one, I'm going to get one and just swap it. Just get rid of it. Or I'll send mine to you and you guys can mess with it and fix it,
Right. I've got a Kel-Tec Sub 2000 that feels like it's going to rattle apart every time I shoot it. So I'd love to upgrade that.
It's because it's all plastic.
It's all plastic. Swear it came out of the box missing 4 bolts.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So Matt, you're the VP, right?
Yep.
So who is your partner?
That's Dave. He mostly runs the manufacturing side of things at the other plant.
Okay.
So, but we share notes with each other every day and work together.
He's a good guy, or is there something you want to
He's
say
an excellent
about him?
person. Yeah, absolutely.
He's not here, so
No,
you can talk
hey.
some smack if you want.
I could, but I won't. Yeah. No, I think we're a great team. He's been in business since the 70s. So, 45 years in business. He's a strong leader.
Okay.
He's been around a long time. So
Cool.
Yeah, we're happy to work together on this. I'm the one that gets to be here and hang out with all the guys. It's a rough job, shooting guns every day, but
Right.
Seems
we're trying to create something cool here. So, I'm trying to grow with this thing. So it's already got a fantastic base, fantastic start.
Right.
Yeah.
When we took over, we managed to keep all the employees. I think they like us so far. So
It's been good.
so we're just going to try to keep building out what they've already built on and try to support them,
Yeah. When you said that, I looked at Jake and he didn't make any funny faces. So
No, I mean, I don't know. The walls in the bathroom might tell a different story, but
Hate my boss. That one. Yeah.
No, I think on that topic, right, we have been very fortunate, right? Like the previous ownership was really good. They decided to move on, and I think we got pretty lucky with the guys that took over. So everybody has opportunities when stuff like that happens. But having worked with these guys from a vendor standpoint for years, we knew them a little bit, and obviously everybody
That
has
helped.
different opinions and all that kind of stuff. But they both really dove in head first. I mean, what was it, Matt? You guys took over, I think, technically like Christmas, like the day before Christmas, you guys were ownership.
Jeez, my wife was pumped.
And then like the first week in January, it was like, all right, let's get on a plane. We're going to, where did we go first? Texas. I think we went to Texas first for a trade show. And he was just running around the country like he'd been doing for years. You know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Jumped right in. And so that, you know, kind of spoke volumes to everybody here at the shop. And so it's just been head down, let's go.
We've all heard the stories about companies getting bought out by corporations that are trying to turn a buck. And, you know, I don't really have a lot of respect for that, to be honest. Like, I think that somebody put their hard-earned time and money into building this thing, and it deserves to kind of keep going and move on. So, yeah.
Well, Dave mentioned that, like in the first meeting that we kind of all had together, like, I'm not here to make a buck on, you know, buying and selling a company. I'm here to make a lot of bucks on a successful company in the long term. And so that's just, I mean, that's the way these guys think. And so that's, again, was reassuring to everybody, because you don't know what's going to happen during an ownership change. So
Right. And I've been part of the opposite end of that, where we were bought out, and we had a company that was 50, 60 years old, something like that, and got bought out. And needless to say, it didn't last very long. Changes were made relatively quick. And so that company's no longer. Yep. So that was, kudos to you guys for stepping up and doing that. That's awesome.
Trying to do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yep.
Like I said, it's been real good.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, somebody brought another firearm in. Is that the Ragnar over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aaron brought the Ragnar in for us to look
Let's
at.
Grab it.
Yeah. Go
Very
ahead and
nice.
grab that.
Remember your muzzle control.
It's not the building to be doing the wrong thing.
Right.
They handed one of these guys, and then that way they can.
So
tell us
this
all
would
about
be
it. Oh, I like that muzzle brake. That is awesome.
right.
That's top secret. There.
Oh man! No,
We'll blur that one.
This is what the ability of having your own machine shop comes in handy, right? Like Dave just decided one day he was going to come up with an idea for maybe a new muzzle device, and went back, put it on the Swiss machine, and popped a couple of them out. So we've been playing with it. Works pretty slick.
It's in the development stages. This is top secret stuff you guys get to see.
Yeah,
We'll blur that one. We'll blur it.
But
I'll
again,
put my
that's,
fat head in the way.
A huge pro of what's going on, right? Is we have the ability to do that kind of stuff. We don't have to send it off to somewhere and have them look into it and then make it and give us a price. They just literally walked to the back and made it.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
We're pretty slick. But yeah, this is our Ragnar. This is our base model rifle. It's a 16-inch 5.56 carbine length gas system, adjustable gas block. Has the flat face nickel boron trigger. This particular one is done in FDE. Comes in 3 colors. The Ragnar does: black, FDE, and burnt bronze. Those are day in and day out the best sellers. So very rugged firearm, very reliable firearm. Kind of no bells and whistles, but it's meant to be a workhorse type rifle that's going to do whatever you need it to do when you need it to do it.
Yeah. That to me looks the most comparable to like the slim carbine that I
it's kind of an evolution of that, you know, kind of came from that and is built into this. You know, we added the features, so couldn't really keep the same name and same part numbers and stuff. So it just kind of morphed into this as we added the upgrades and changed a few other things. So
well, and it looks like, is that a textured handguard there?
Yep, it's a little bit different.
Slim handguard. Yep. It's CNC machined. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Another our own design and make in house.
Yeah, very cool.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you guys make your handguards in-house?
Handguards, uppers, lowers, bulk carrier groups, adjustable gas blocks, muzzle devices.
Mm-hmm.
What I like is even the trigger, I don't know what to call it, trigger guard, that it's not part of the lower to where you can add, you know, that bigger grip, you know, and everything. So
we got a couple different variations of trigger guards.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is the only model of rifle that comes with
the flat one.
Spec. Everything else comes with our enhanced trigger guard, or the AR-10 does have kind of that built in because it is billet.
Seems like a lot of the hunters like that enhanced trigger guard. If they got gloves and stuff on, it seems like they can fit their finger in there better. So
it makes a huge difference. Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
crazy how the littlest things can make a big difference like that.
Yeah,
that's the AR world. I mean, it's interchangeable parts, you know, and it like it's nice. People can buy something like this. And if they buy the entry one, they can add stuff later. We've got a website, sell all the parts. So we get a lot of that. Guys start out, they want to get into it and then, expand from there. But
oh yeah, I think we've all done that in our ARs. You buy one that's like, oh gosh, I need new. Well, for me, need new trigger. Need new butt stock. Need new hand grip. Need new charging handle. New sights. It's like, yep. Now all of a sudden, it turned out to be a mediocre gun, and now we're talking high end at this point.
Yeah, that budget AR is not so budget anymore.
Right? Yeah, but that's the cool thing about it, and I think that's why a lot of people are getting into it more because you can customize them easier. And now with the larger calibers, I mean, why not? You get a bolt action wood stock gun. I can add a sling and a scope. That's all you can add to it. You can't really customize it as much to where these, you can really get them to where they're your own.
Yeah.
It's comfortability. Yeah. I mean, that's why we sell so many different stocks and grips. Like different people like different things. You want to feel comfortable when you're shooting. It's makes it that much more enjoyable and makes it that much better to.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, everybody's different, right? So different things work for different people. So the ability for the firearm itself to be modular like that is great because what works for you may not work for me.
Yeah,
And vice
exactly.
versa. So we can easily change that, or in our case, we offer something that probably works.
It's going to fit the majority.
Yep,
Yeah. Right.
Yep. But it's easy enough to change if not.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And you got tons of different looks too, because let's be honest, everybody likes the look of them too, not just the functionality of them.
Well, at a certain point, looking cool is half the battle.
I think it's a good starting point. They find one, that thing looks cool, I want it, now I'm going to make it mine.
Yeah, we do a lot of custom Cerakote paint jobs, and we offer a lot of different things. So a lot of people go on our website and pick out what they like or say they want something like it. And
we essentially have
something up.
4 tiers of Cerakote. We have our standard tiers, which are going to be included in the base price. That we get into the FX stuff, which is your tactical mermaids and your coppers, and there's ranger greens and a Pinkosaurus Rex and a whole bunch of different colors. That's a slightly added up charge. Then we can get it into like the distressing and the mesh camos, which is our tier 3 of stuff. And then we get into your camos, your multicam, your snow cams, different colors in the multicam, and that's another price structure because we can paint maybe 5 of those a day.
Okay.
Whereas, if we want to do just solid color burnt bronze, he can paint hundreds in a day just because of how intensive it is as far as actually producing that multicam. And no two are ever exactly the same because the stencils go on different. The air hits the brush a little bit differently. So, lots of customization, options. So we'll get a guy that might call and be like, "Hey, I want this gun, but I want this paint job." All right, we can do that. This is the pricing.
Yeah.
Did you say Pinkosaurus Rex?
I did say Pinkosaurus Rex.
Who comes up with those names?
Cerakote comes up with some really cool names for their stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't ours.
It's all Cerakote.
I'm not taking credit for that one.
Right.
And when we've tried some of these, we've literally just gone on there and picked the most unique and kind of cool sounding name, and that's the one we try. I mean, hence Tactical Mermaid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We thought it was kind of a silly name, and so we ordered it and tried it, and have sold hundreds and hundreds of them.
It honestly is very cool.
We may have to get a Pinkosaurus Rex.
I kind of want to see one now.
Yeah.
I don't see anything that could remotely.
We'll be taking you guys around for a tour. We got some stuff.
So you guys planning on SHOT Show this year?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We should be out there.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll be there too, hopefully. So
Awesome.
Last year was our first year, and it was overwhelming to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were. I think we put on like 2 miles within the first hour and a half. We just nonstop, and I mean, we had the sheet, and we're like, okay, we want to go here, here, and here. Well, then of course on the way, oh, hey, there's them, and there's them, and then you get to it, it's like, oh, but we missed these guys. Like, oh, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's an experience, that is for sure. And now it's kind of weird, right? Because when we go, we're trapped in like a 10 by 20 area. We don't get a whole lot of time to explore.
Right.
But it's fun. It can be real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure.
Well, we'll definitely have to stop by for sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
for sure.
We'll take you out to dinner on Dean's Tab.
Pretty much.
There you go.
Because I have a company card.
I'm okay with it.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, we know a few good places.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Do you guys have anything else?
No, I think I covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the tour.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How about you guys? You want to add anything?
No, thanks for.
I don't think
thanks
so.
for coming.
Thanks for
having us.
Thanks for letting us in the building.
Right. we've
You guys got by Denver. You guys must be doing pretty good.
We've been wanting to come down for a while, and it's like, okay, we've got to make it happen.
That's right.
We drive by it all the time, and obviously, we're big fans, and so it's like, yeah, we got to stop by, check it out.
Yeah, appreciate you coming.
Yeah. So
Yeah, well, let's go get a tour.
yeah, let's take a tour. We'll get some.
Probably do some test firing too. Or?
That would be
If
awesome.
that would,
Twist my arm, man.
Was it
Jared's got to go sit in the
bad
truck.
when you guys got here?
It wasn't
No,
raining
it was
at all.
humid.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can break out the stuff with the fun switch too if we want to, and you guys can
Love
shoot
it.
I like this.
Shoot a little bit of that.
I like
Love
the fun switch. Well, on that note, I think we're going to end her there, and until
the fun
next time.
stuff.
Go
Yeah.
play with some fun switches.
Right? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it.
The Minnesota Deer Hunters Association has been building our hunting and conservation legacy over the past 40 plus years through habitat, education, advocacy, and legislation in Minnesota for Minnesota.
APF Armory, precision, performance, innovation. Visit apfarmory.com.
Please note that the opinions, topics, and guests featured may not necessarily align with the views, beliefs, goals, or mission of our sponsors.